6 years with no alcohol. Now, maybe you clicked on this video because you're thinking of not drinking or cutting drinking out of your life so you can grow your business or you can get focused on creating your finances and your lifestyle the way that you want. Or maybe you clicked on this video because you think it's crazy that I went over 6 years without alcohol and you want to hear what that was all about. Either way, you're going to be in for a treat because I'm going to go over why I stopped drinking alcohol and the pros and the cons of taking it out of my life, what the effect of it was on my life. Now, from 20 to 26 is when I stopped drinking. Those prime years of drinking, of having fun, quote unquote, I'm doing all those things. I decided to cut it out. And there was one main reason why. And it was because my freshman year of college, I was drinking, I was blacking out all the time. I was drinking more than I should have been drinking, doing drugs, just really living up that freshman year in a fraternity, doing all those things. And at the end of my freshman year, towards the end of my freshman year, I looked at myself in the mirror and I couldn't recognize myself. I remember questioning myself. I was like, who the hell am I? And this thought ran through my head and I sat down on the edge of my bed with my hands in my head, my head in my hands, just like that. And a voice ran through my mind and said, put an end to it. Put an end to the drinking. And I know that my life wasn't going to amount to what I desired it to if I continued to do that because I really wasn't living my life on my terms. I was just drinking and going to class and doing all these things. And I decided to, after questioning and asking, what is my life going to look like? Like my friends that I have, the people who I'm hanging out with, what I'm doing, like everything's going to look different. The way I socialize is going to look completely different. But for some reason, I decided to commit and I said, okay, I'm going to put an end to drinking. And I'm glad that I did. My sophomore year of college, I lived in a frat house, didn't drink at all, got real into fitness, got real focused, and really my head started going into business. And I started figuring out and building an online business and an online platform, fitness training, doing all that stuff. This was back in 2012, had like 5,000 followers on Instagram at that point for fitness, and was really growing a fitness brand, selling things via fitness, had fitness pages, selling those, making money while doing what I enjoy and really getting myself in shape in the next level of shape that I wanted to be in. I would spend my Sundays cooking 42 meals for the entire week, eating my meals throughout the week. That's when I was doing 6 meals per day. But then I decided to drop out of college. I decided to drop out of college because I knew ultimately it wasn't for me. And I could have continued down that path of just drinking, hanging out, partying, and going to school. Finished the 4 years, ended up in a shit ton of debt, probably working a job that I don't want, stuck behind my debt. But me not drinking was a catalyst and led to me making other changes in my life. The year I dropped out of college, I started my business. This was after my sophomore year. I started my first business as an auto detailing business. Now, see, I started getting real focused. And one of the pros and some of the pros of not drinking alcohol is the amount of focus that you now have. Wasn't distracted by anything around me. Wasn't distracted by anyone, was anything. Wasn't distracted by going out and just partying. Wasn't distracted by having to drink. Wasn't waking up the next day feeling foggy. My brain and my mental capacity was expanding because I wasn't poisoning myself. That's what alcohol is. I wasn't poisoning myself and taking in the alcohol. So now I could focus more. Now I can concentrate more. Now I can actually dial in and get the shit done that I always wanted to get done. Started my first business, didn't go the way I wanted. Started another business, personal training. And I got clear that this is what I wanted to do for the time being. Did fitness competitions, all those things. And then I brought that business online. And I had my first online fitness business where I started making like real money. 20 years old to 21 years old, I made my first I had my first $25,000 month, my first month of 21 in April. So $25,000. Now my business is growing and now my income is growing. The reason being, or a part of a huge reason, is because I was able to focus and I didn't have shit going in my system and I wasn't distracted by partying, by going out, by any of these things. Taking out alcohol completely got rid of all of the distractions in my life. Completely took that all out. So that wasn't a thought in my head anymore, right? And again, I wasn't being held back by feeling like shit the next day or waking up not feeling my best the next day. It allowed me to get focused. It allowed me to get dialed in. Your body, obviously, your gut is directly linked, not obviously, but your gut is directly linked to your brain. So now my brain's functioning to its highest capacity as well now. And I'm focused, building my business, staying focused, doing the work that I desire to do, being performing the way I desire to perform, not being held back by poisoning myself. Now, there's many pros when it comes to growing your business. The amount of focus that you're going to have, the amount of concentration that you're going to have, the amount of discipline that you're now going to have because you're not distracted by other things, the ease of discipline, the simplicity of actually doing the work that you know you should be doing. Instead of getting distracted, instead of holding yourself back. You drink alcohol. I didn't masturbate or have sex, semen retention for those 6 years as well. That's a topic for a different discussion. I have other videos on that, but I did that for those 6 years as well. Drinking alcohol may have led to me feeling the need to masturbate or feeling the need to have sex and chasing women that weren't ideal for me. So instead of doing any of that, it's accumulation, right? It wasn't just the alcohol by itself, but the alcohol leads to one thing, leads to other, leads to another. The alcohol was a catalyst for me being able to really take a stand for the life I wanted. My freshman year of college, I was drinking, partying, doing drugs, and I always knew that I wanted to be an entrepreneur, that I wanted to grow my business, that I wanted to succeed. I saw my dad back when I was growing up. He was in and out of jail. He was on drugs. He had some problems with alcohol through a period of time in his life as well, and I knew I didn't want that to be my life. I knew I wanted to live a different way. So that's why I chose to, unconsciously, why I chose to not use alcohol. Why I chose for alcohol not to be something that one I sedate with and just use as a crutch, which I did my freshman year, and something that I wanted to eliminate my life because I wanted to be able to fully focus. I wanted to be able to be fully present. I wanted to be dialed in what I'm doing. And I'm so grateful that I have, because it's led me to the life that I have now. Multiple six-figure business, being able to really live my life on my terms, not having to answer to anyone. Where would my life be if I continue to drink? And no matter where it is that you're at right now in your life, like if you're looking to take your business to the next level and you want to get focused, like awesome, do that. I know they have this one thing called the 75 hard, where you spend 75 days not drinking alcohol, totally focus on things. And that's something powerful for you to be able to do. Now, there's a lot of pros when it comes to cutting out alcohol, but there's also some cons, right? And these are cons that I experienced because I went a prolonged period of time. I shut myself out from any social life at all. I completely shut myself out. I didn't talk to anyone. I just focused on working 24/7 because I felt like, and my friends felt like too, like he doesn't drink, so he's not going to come out, especially when I'm 21 years old, 22 years old. Like that's the thing to do. So I didn't have any social life at all, completely disconnected myself from that. And when there were times at family parties and family events where there was a desire inside of me to have a drink, to have fun, to let loose and just enjoy the time around my family and everyone, I didn't allow myself to do that. Now, from one standpoint, it's awesome, the discipline that I have. But from another standpoint, you could say that maybe I was taking away from my life. But that's what was needed at that point in time in order to create what I've created up to this point. Now, was I being very hard on myself? Yes. Did I box myself in? Yes. Were there times where I thought to myself, maybe I could just drink a little bit and just allow myself to enjoy and like hang out and have fun? Yes. Would it have been cool if I allowed myself to do that? Maybe, but I didn't. So if you desire to cut alcohol out of your life, whether it be for a long period of time or a short period of time, whatever that is, you don't necessarily have to cut out your social life as well. You can have fun, you can enjoy yourself. And while I did enjoy myself and have fun, I just know other memories and other things could have been created. But I turned myself into this extremely disciplined man where I didn't allow myself to do any of that at all. So know the pros and know the cons of it, right? Know where you're at and allow yourself to create that balance for yourself. Maybe there's a period of time where you want to do a sprint and have no alcohol. Do it. Highly recommend it. It's going to be extremely powerful for you, for your mind, for your body, for your drive, for your ability to create something for yourself that you're not able to create as the version of yourself that is drinking. And even though it's not like all hell drinking, like fuck drinking, like no. But it does take away from you certain periods of time, and it lowers your vibration and frequency. We're not going to get that in depth on that at this point in time, but your vibration, you on your vibrational chart of enlightenment being the highest, it brings you down. I forget what it is. I have another video on this. I believe it's about 400. You can be at like 1200 or something. Brings you down to the vibration of 400, where it's like not courage, it's like pride or ego or something of that sort. It brings you down to. So your energy and your ability to attract and receive the things that you want gets lowered as well at that point in time when you're consuming too much alcohol. Now just know that there is a balance, as I mentioned. At this point in time, what I'm doing is I've created that balance for myself. I'm in full control of my alcohol consumption. I know when I want to drink, when I don't want to drink, if I'm going to drink, if I'm not going to drink, and I never go over the top. Every once in a while when I'm hanging out, I'll allow myself to have a couple drinks during the summer, allow myself to have a couple drinks, let loose a little bit, but nothing crazy, because I don't desire to have that a part of my life. I don't desire that to take over my life like it did my freshman year of college. I desire to be in control and be aware and be able to observe myself in these situations and just be in control of it. I don't like not having control of myself. I don't like drinking and getting inundated and not being able to do anything and waking up the next day and feeling like shit, because that takes a toll not only in that moment, but in the long term as well. And since not drinking alcohol, like I've done a ton of incredible things and had a ton of incredible experiences. One, the lifestyle that I created for myself, the level of discipline, but being able to do things like silent meditation retreats, which I would have never done if I was drinking, 10-day silent retreats, things like Kokoro, which is a 53-hour training with the Navy SEALs, breaking records and totally just killing it there in the best way possible. Never been able to do that. Going to CrossFit and killing it at CrossFit, never been able to do that. Taking my body, taking my mind to the next level. I would have never have done these things if I was consuming alcohol because I would have been distracted. So I'm extremely grateful for the journey I've went on. And if you're looking to not drink alcohol anymore, throw a question in the comments down below, whether it be the amount of time you should stop or what you're thinking of doing or how you're thinking about going about it, or even how to handle situations when you're with family who always saw me drinking at 20 years old or 19 years old. Like I was drinking at that point in time, saw me drinking it and wanted to have fun with me, but I wasn't. And they would say things like, come on, just have a drink, the peer pressure. There's ways to not get sucked into that. And it all comes down to your mentality, your mindset, and your thought process around it. So again, whether you haven't drank alcohol for a long period of time, or you're thinking about cutting it out, or whatever questions that you have, make sure to post them down in the comments below and I'll answer any questions that you have on that. But allow yourself to rise, and when you feel called to do something, step into it. Don't worry about the judgment and the opinions of others and what may happen in your life or what may happen to certain relationships, because there will be relationships that you lose. But is that a bad thing? Probably not. Step into what you truly feel called to do and allow yourself to test it out. See if it's good for you. And I recommend anyone, if you've never cut alcohol out of your life, cut it out for a couple of years, or not a couple of years, but a couple of weeks, maybe a month, maybe a couple months, and just see how your performance level goes up at that point in time. And if you're an entrepreneur and you have a 6-figure business or a low 6-figure business, maybe near the 6 figures, and you're looking to bring it to a multiple 6-figure or 7-figure business, make sure to click on the link in the description, because we're doing 10-minute consult calls where I'll jump on, or someone on my team will jump on with you, get in a conversation, see where you're at, and get clear on what those next steps are for you in order to grow your business, your income, and your life. Take that to the next level. My name is George Wohar. Glad you enjoyed this video. I will catch you in the next one, and make sure to subscribe, like this video, and hit that notification bell so you get notified of all the videos that we're posting. I'll catch you.